Hey YouTube, live from the studio, I'm Jimmy Solesky. Now if you're like me, you've probably come across tons of videos on this website offering you the secret to your first 1,000 subscribers, your first 100,000 views, becoming a full-time content creator. And I've watched most of those videos, and as you can tell, they have not quite worked. So this is normally a situation where I would like to take a swing at it myself, put my own 2 cents in. Hey, none of these things really seem to work. I don't know if you guys are really giving out the right information. Let me handle this. And that's when it hit me, oh wait, my channel sucks. I can't give you the keys to success. I'm a failure. And if I wasn't a genius, I probably would have left it at that. But here's the thing. I'm a fucking genius. So it hit me. And I realized, well, by no means, by any stretch of the imagination, am I in any position to offer you the keys to success. The steps that you must take in order to achieve your content creator goals. I'm not that guy. I'm literally not him. But I cannot think of a single person on this planet that is in a better position to tell you what not to do if you'd like to be successful on YouTube. See, there's an old saying, and it goes, if you're finding trouble identifying the steps you need to take to reach your goals, maybe instead write down a list of all the things you need to do in order to guarantee that you never reach your goals. And once you've jotted that list down, just do the opposite. And I find that oddly profound. So while I may not have 1,000 subscribers or 100,000 subscribers or millions of views on my videos, really have accomplished anything even remotely close to what could be considered not embarrassing on this website, I can pretty confidently say that anytime I upload a video, I'm getting double-digit views. You know, I can speak to that. I can speak to that. And if you follow my 5-step guide, carefully curated, Jimmy Solesky's top 5 must-dos for your first and probably last 36 views. Folks, if you want to be like me, or better yet, if you don't want to be like me, I suggest you stick around. All right, folks. So without further ado, coming in at number 5. This is a personal one for me. It's a big one for me. It's something that I employed heavily in the early stages of my illustrious career. And that is spam, spam, spam. Let me repeat, spam. You're gonna want to spam. This is huge. When I first created my music page for myself, Jimmy Solesky. I did not yet have a band name, so it was just me, Jimmy Solesky, which is a sweet artist name, right? And I created this page on Facebook back in 2012, and what I did was I went through my friends list. I had about 1,300, 1,400 friends, not bragging. This is Facebook 2011, kind of a big deal. I decided that every night I would go through my list alphabetically, starting at the letter A, obviously, and I would copy and paste the link to my fan page on their wall until I finished all 26 letters of my 1,400 person friends list. This would amount to me posting about 80 links per night, depending on the letter, sometimes more, sometimes less. I had people commenting on my wall preemptively when they started to notice a pattern after a week that they saw I was getting to their letter of the alphabet. They would say, please don't post this on my wall. Don't bother. They would say things like, I already liked your page. You don't have to do this. They would delete me in some cases, block me. I took this as a challenge because I was going to do it anyway. It was a personal challenge I had set for myself. See, I'm going to post my link on your fucking wall, and there's nothing you can do about it. Why? I don't really know why. I will tell you this. I did manage to get 700 likes on my page. So I had a pretty decent success rate with this tactic. But that was Facebook. That was 13 years ago. The culture has changed. The mediums have changed. The internet has changed since 2011, which is why we're not just going to stop there. Anyone who's worth their weight in salt knows that if you want to win, you gotta spam. And so it's not just about posting links on people's Facebook walls. It's about follow for follow. Follow people, guys. Just follow them. Follow people on Instagram. Follow people on Facebook. Follow people on Twitter. And then what you're going to do, immediately unfollow them. Immediately within one day. People don't pay attention if you unfollow them. Just follow as many people as you can. And also don't bother targeting them. Do not go, okay, my channel deals with like politics. My channel deals with, sports. So let me try to go to other people's pages that also have a similar fan base to what I'd imagine my audience would be. So let's see, if I'm a comedy podcaster, maybe I would follow a lot of people that follow Tim Dillon. Or perhaps if I'm a sports podcaster, I would go to the Pat McAfee show and follow people that follow him, something like that. That's stupid. Don't do that. What you want to do is follow as many people as possible. I don't care if it's a 70-year-old grandma. I don't care if it's a 12-year-old boy and everything in between. As many people as you want, because if there's one thing we know, it's that the more people that see your content and don't engage with it, the better it is for you in the algorithm. So you're going to want to do that. Also, don't stop at people you don't know. You're also going to want to incorporate people you kind of know. I mean, obviously, you're going to get your friends and family. They're going to subscribe to your YouTube out of pity. But it's really, the name of the game really is the people you kind of know. Like, somebody you went to high school with. This is a golden opportunity to send a DM. Don't say, hey, what's up, man? Haven't seen you in a while. None of that. You don't need to do that. Just send a link to your YouTube, get it in there. Guy's going to read it. He's probably going to watch it. He's definitely going to watch it. Oh, I haven't talked to Jimmy in 10 years. What did he send me? Oh, a link to his new YouTube channel. Okay. Yeah, I'm subscribing. You're going to want to do that, guys. This is key. You know how like when somebody messages you a link to a music video they just dropped, or like, do you want to see my pussy online for free on this chat thing? You usually click that because people don't really know what to do with their time all day. There's not a lot of stuff going on the internet. So really what people are kind of doing is waiting for you, people like you, to DM them your random shit, at which point they're like, oh, thank God, something to do on YouTube. That is a key one. And if you do that, I can guarantee that you are going to get to 36 views in no time. Promise. All right. So remember, folks, number 5 must do for your first and last 36 views is spam, spam, spam. Aimlessly, do not target, do not bother, do not engage, just spam. Coming in at number 4. Number 4. This is something I've been preaching for years. The username. Some people have this idea that, oh, well, if I'm, let's say, Jimmy Solesky on Instagram, I should be Jimmy Solesky on Facebook. I should be Jimmy Solesky on Twitter. I should be Jimmy Solesky on YouTube. I should be Jimmy Solesky on SoundCloud. Wrong. Wrong. Why would you make your username one singular, easily memorized handle across all platforms? Boring. Why not mix it up a little bit, dude? Okay, so you're Jimmy Solesky on Instagram. Why not J Solesky Music on Twitter? Why not, you could do like Jimmy Solesky, but you could make the O's zeros and the E's threes. Keep it fun. Keep people on their toes. Don't make it too easy for them to find you on the internet. They're going to get bored. They're going to walk away. People want to find you. People want to find, especially people that they don't know or care about. That's when people are going to try the hardest to locate you. And so you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. You're not really giving them the thrill of the chase that they're actually desiring when they're trying to find your content. You're not granting them that when you make yourself too easy to find on the internet. And if you can't find the ideal username, let's say you have an ideal username, like I said, Jimmy Solesky, but it's not available on one of the websites, that is a perfect opportunity to throw in random numbers. They don't have to be of any significance or anything easily memorized. Maybe 3 to 4 random numbers, maybe an underscore. Oh, it's Jimmy underscore Solesky 92 on SoundCloud. Something like that. Something where it's like, you just throw the punctuation. It mixes it up. It keeps it good. It keeps it nice and inconsistent. We're going to get into inconsistency later, but that is a big one. You want to stay hard to get on the internet. And before we leave this subject, I just want to say one thing. This specifically goes to artists, musical artists and bands. For sure, you are going to want the word music in your username. That should go without saying. Can you think of one musical artist, one famous, successful artist that does not have the word music in their Instagram and Twitter handle? I can't think of one. What's Drake's handle? Beyonce, Kanye, Maroon 5, Justin Bieber, Olivia Rodrigo, Billie Eilish, the 1975. I mean, the list goes on. Every single one of those successful artists that you follow all have the word music in their handle. Duh. How else are people going to know that you make music? You think they're just going to see you with your band and your music and automatically assume this guy makes music? No, you want to put that in your handle. So to recap, number 4, keep your usernames and handles different across all platforms. Keep people on their toes. Stay hard to get. And of course, again, if you're a band, musical artist, you're gonna wanna make your handle say blank music. And also, if you're a comedian, you might want to consider making that your name comedy. That's another good way to go, because if I think, again, let's see, Joe Rogan, Louis C.K., Mark Norman, Theo Von, Tim Dillon, Shane Gillis. Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of them have the word comedy in their username. So that's what you're going to want to do, okay? Do not forget those. Those are important tips. Number 3. This, unfortunately, is not something that I am guilty of myself, but I cannot recommend it enough. You're going to want to have shitty audio and video equipment. This one is huge. And this one, thankfully, is something that even some of the more high-profile channels still hold on to. They never really let this aspect of success in staying amateur, they never really let this one go. They maintain their shitty audio and video quality in their shows. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's another thing I'm doing wrong here. Maybe it's a curse that I happen to have fucking sick equipment and audio video quality. But regardless, it's something that I cannot recommend enough to you. People don't notice these things. Why get a good mic when you can get a bad mic? Do you not realize that bad microphones are cheaper? Why invest in a nice camera, let's say, when you could get a worse camera? Again, this should go without saying, worse equipment costs less money. Are you not following? Do you want to spend more money or less money? Obviously less money. No one cares. No one notices if your voice is distorted and muffled. No one notices if your video quality sucks. These aren't things that factor in to an audio video medium such as YouTube. Audio and video don't matter. So don't bother. Just stick with the cheapest mics you can find on Amazon. Test them out for 4 years, until you decide if this hobby is something you really want to go forward with, at which point you can buy the second cheapest microphone on Amazon. Same with the cameras. I mean, this one is an easy one, guys. This one doesn't require any action at all. All it requires is inaction. Just do it. Now, number 2, this is kind of a two-parter, and it kind of deals with inconsistency as well. Inconsistency is a common theme of what I'm proposing to you guys as a goal to strive for. Inconsistency in timing, aka releases, and inconsistency in quality and content. All of these things are going to factor in. When I say inconsistency of releases, what I mean is, look, you're a guy, you have a weekly podcast. Everyone has a weekly podcast. Everyone wants to have a weekly podcast. Weekly seems to be the correct amount of frequency for a podcast. However, no one actually puts out a podcast every week. Who does that? Very few people. You have a weekly podcast, maybe you put one out 9 days from now, maybe you put one out, maybe you skip a week and put it out 2 weeks from now, and then maybe you get backed up a little bit and then you put one out and then one out 3 days later and then you go another 14 days without one and then you drop one. That's what you kind of want to shoot for. You don't want people to get like too in the habit of listening to you. You don't want people being like, oh, great, that guy Jimmy Solesky, he's just releasing content every weeknight at 8 p.m. So I know that whatever I'm doing around 8 p.m., I can just pop on YouTube and there's going to be another episode of Live from the Studio. People don't want that. People don't want to fall into a routine of the things they like and enjoy. And if you happen to fit into that routine, then you've earned a loyal listener. You kind of want to keep people guessing. You want to keep people guessing. You want people to listen to an episode, maybe even enjoy it, and then like skip a week. And when they're sitting there wondering like, oh, did he put out a new episode? No, he didn't. And then maybe they even forget after a while that they enjoyed your content, so that when you finally do put out another episode 2 to 3 weeks later, it's like a pleasant surprise. They're like, oh wow, I forgot about this guy. Now I'm definitely going to dedicate him another hour of my time for him to reprove himself as a quality content creator. That's how the human psychology works. And so that's what you're trying to kind of capitalize on. You want to surprise people like, hey, surprise, here's another episode. That's important. But even more important than inconsistency of timing and releases is inconsistency of quality and content. It all comes down to keeping people on their toes, folks. This is what people enjoy. People don't want to automatically know that every time you put out an episode that it's going to be about a specific thing that they can judge whether or not they're interested in. Maybe it's something that they're searching for and they come across your thing. And so now they know that your channel delivers a certain type of content. People aren't really concerned with that. And even more so, they're not even necessarily concerned if it's always going to be good content. Even if regardless of what the content's about, you don't want to always make it good. You don't want to always sometimes it could be bad. And that, again, it's like this emotional roller coaster. It's like, oh, maybe, is this episode going to be good? Oh, it's like rolling the dice every time. People want to pull the slot, the jackpot thing. It's like, oh, man, big bucks, no whammies. I hope this episode's good. And guys, look, the absolute coolest thing you can do as a, late 20s, 30-something-year-old, 40-something-year-old, whatever, dude, is have a podcast and don't make it about anything. A podcast should just be you, who nobody knows, and your friends who nobody knows, just sitting in there and talking about stuff that nobody knows. Like talk about how your weekend was. Talk about some friends that you guys know, but the listener doesn't. Talk about how drunk you got on Saturday. Talk about things that only you and people close to you can relate to, because that brings the audience a chance to kind of tap in. Like now they get like this kind of like thing where like, oh wow, now I get to really see inside these people's lives, Like yeah, you see Joe Rogan and Tim Dillon do this, and it's not just because they're world famous people that have a massive following and therefore people are actually interested in their day-to-day lives. That goes the same for you. If you're just a regular guy, you work like at the mall or at an auto body shop or at a restaurant or whatever, there is a massive market on the internet that wants to spend multiple hours of their day listening to hopefully shitty audio video quality content of you and your best buds just talking about old times and inside jokes and other people that you don't know and stories that need context and all the above. That is what the market is craving from the podcast industry, and that is something we simply do not have enough of. You know, if somebody asks you what your podcast is about and your answer is anything other than, I don't know, just kind of whatever, then you're doing something wrong. You don't want to be able to give a clear answer to what your podcast is about. You don't want to be able to, oh, it's about politics. Oh, we discuss sports. Oh, we discuss, anything. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. Cereal, there's not going to be a market for specific things. In fact, it makes it harder for people to find you if you isolate yourself to one specific niche. You've actually limited your audience to just people that are interested in that thing. Whereas if you market yourself as a podcast that talks about whatever all the time, we just kind of bullshit and talk about everything, then now you've opened yourself to every possible audience. Now the guy who wants to hear a podcast about cereal is going to listen to your show, and a guy who wants to listen to a sports podcast is going to listen to your show, and a guy who wants to hear a podcast about politics they're all going to tune into your show because you told them that your show is about pretty much everything, whatever comes to mind. So they're going to sit there and they're going to sit through multiple episodes and wait for you to potentially maybe mention something that they're interested in. That's actually how it works. If you want double-digit views, you have to incorporate that in your repertoire. In consistency of timing, of quality, of content. And number one, folks, this is the kicker. Number one. Dun, 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 dun. The best piece of advice I can give all of you, including myself, you gotta give up. You gotta give up. Give up. Give up. If you haven't found success in your first 10 episodes of your podcast or your YouTube channel or your band, your first couple songs, give up. It's not for you. It's not meant to be. Anyone who has ever found success has pretty much found it immediately. We understand this to be true. If you get in the music industry and you make 4 songs and none of them blow up and make you world famous pop star, it's not for you. If you get into podcasting and you post 10 inconsistently spaced, shitty quality episodes about nothing, and none of those blow up and make you the next Joe Rogan, it's probably time to give up. For sure. For sure. That's what you're going to want to do. And that's why I put that at number 1. Because if you give up, you will certainly, almost certainly, achieve your goal. As long as your goal is to fail, which is the purpose of this video and something that I know quite a bit about. Because if you keep trying and improving and making adjustments and honing your craft and all this blah, 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 there's no guarantee you're going to succeed. Who says? Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Who knows? But if you just simply give up, there is no sure path to success. And by that, of course, I mean succeeding at failing is guaranteed. It is guaranteed success at failure if you give up. So why would you take the maybe over the guarantee? It seems like an easy choice to me, folks. So remember, number 5, spam, 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 and spam again. Number 4, keep those handles tricky. Keep them elusive. Play hard to get with the public. Number 3, shitty audio, shitty video, shitty everything. Number 2, inconsistency, baby. Inconsistency. Don't let them know when you're going to release an episode. Keep them on their toes. Don't let people know what it's about. Don't have it be about anything. Don't always make it good, make it bad. Sometimes inconsistency. And of course, number 1, again, just give up. Just fucking give up, guys. Till next time, my name is Jimmy Solesky. Leave us a subscription. Leave us a comment. Leave us a like. Best of luck to you in your journey to the middle. Peace.